Freedom. What is it worth? For some, the answer is simple. Everything. As our fiercest foes march towards extinguishing our freedom. Now more than ever, we need more Helldivers. We need more recruits.
Hellpod launch initiated.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Will you make the ultimate sacrifice? Now is the time to join the Helldivers.
What's going on, guys? So today I thought I would switch things up. Usually I would talk about game trailers and upcoming games and give my opinion on it and ask you your opinion on it. But there's been a lot going on in the gaming industry that me as a gamer, I thought I would chime in on and give my opinion, because some things I feel, and this is just my opinion, I feel has been either left out purposely or not touched on. Like I said, it's just my opinion. So I definitely want to talk about some things that's going on in the gaming industry. And one of those things is games going over to other platforms. Now, before I start, I want to say that this is my opinion. I'm not getting it from a source of mine or anything of that nature. This is what I see, in my opinion. And I have that right. Just like you have a right to your opinion. Whether it be false or true, that's not for me to determine, and it's not for you to determine. Opinion is just an opinion, not always a fact. So with that being said, I want to talk about games going over to other platforms. Now, we've been dealing with this for a little while now, and there's no surprise that Xbox has been porting games over to other platforms, most notably PlayStation. You know, they have always, I would say, put games on PC. I wouldn't say from the beginning, but, you know, they have done that. But with this PlayStation situation, is more a delicate situation, because at one point they was competing platforms. So it came as a surprise to a lot of Xbox gamers. And not just surprise, it came at a time where they thought Xbox was primed to take over or give PlayStation a run for their money. So it created a lot of anger, backlash, denial in a lot of Xbox gamers. Now, there's a lot of PlayStation gamers, PlayStation channels that have said, you know, Xbox is going this direction, Xbox is going that direction, you know, and some were right, some were half right, and some were in the middle. So with that being said, you know, you do have a lot of PlayStation centric channels that were, you know, clowning Xbox gamers. And I just want to say I'm a PlayStation gamer. So you might look at me as being biased or not. That's your choice. But I would like to think of myself as being in the middle. So with that being said, I'm not always going to take up for PlayStation everything they do, because if they make a bad decision in the gaming, it affects me. So I can never make up an excuse or come up with an excuse for PlayStation if they do something that's harmful to my gaming experience. I don't care what it is. There's never an excuse for that. So I just want to put that out there. It's just my gaming platform of choice. Now, there has been some PlayStation channels, PlayStation gamers that have been, you know, clowning or bashing Xbox gamers ever since the multi-plat situation started with Xbox shipping the famous only 4 games statement. And there's been a lot of denial in the Xbox community. It's been a lot of anger, but I think a lot of that has been misplaced. A lot of that anger has gone towards the PlayStation gamers or the PlayStation ecosystem or PlayStation as a platform, instead of being directed towards the source, which is Microsoft and Xbox. Now, this is just my opinion. Now, the whole point of this video is to talk about a topic of games being ported over. Now we have a situation where it seems the shoe may be on the other foot. And with that being said, and what I mean by that is announcement of Helldivers 2 going over to Xbox. Now, Helldivers 2 is a Sony-owned IP. They publish the game. You know, they don't own the developer studio, Arrowhead. That's not under their control. But they do have the IP ownership, if you will. Now, recently it was announced that Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox in August. Helldivers 2 has always been on PC. So, and even that, I don't consider PC a platform. So, as far as being competition with PlayStation. So, Helldivers has always been on another, I guess, ecosystem. Don't kill me in the comments, but that's just my opinion. So, yeah, so Helldivers has always been on another PC, I guess, competition. I want to say competition, but so yeah, so it's not like Helldivers was just on PlayStation. It was on PC, and now it's coming to Xbox. So with that being said, you see a lot of Xbox gamers are now doing to PlayStation gamers what has been done to them. And that's understandable, but at the same time, the timing is terrible, with everything that's going on with Xbox, with all the layoffs, all the canceling of games and closing of studios, the reduction in hardware sales, or just them pulling out of certain regions. I can go on and on. It's just been a whole boatload. And recently, them closing their movies and TV app on the Xbox system. So they have a lot going on with them within their own business, I would say. And for whatever reason they're doing this, and I will probably make a video speaking to that further. But with all that's going on, you would think that Helldivers 2 is actually saving Xbox, because the way they make such a big deal about Helldivers 2 going to Xbox is like they forgot everything that's been going on. As if Helldivers 2, that announcement changed everything. And you could tell by looking at the videos, because before that announcement of Helldivers 2, you had the announcement of the layoffs and the studio closures and the games being canceled, like Perfect Dark, and all these studios that they recently closed down or had to close because of the impacts of layoffs, and then the games. So we had that announcement of the layoffs and the impact that it had on Microsoft and Xbox. And then you have the announcement of Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox. At the time man, you would think that, all right, let's put it like this. Imagine this. Maybe you don't even have to imagine. The way it looks as if Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox was not an overnight thing. It didn't happen a week prior to the layoffs. That decision wasn't made a week prior. August is right around the corner. So that game would have to have been worked on months, even a year ahead of time. I want to say months, but that port was being worked on well before the layoffs were announced. So this wasn't something that was just planned out of the blue, just like, oh, let's just put Helldivers on Xbox. So I say that because the timing of the announcement came not too long after the announcement of the layoffs. And that's very interesting to me. It's like as if Xbox wanted to lighten the blow of that announcement, the backlash they would receive, and what way to distract people or turn people away from the backlash and the negativity that Xbox is constantly getting. And they deserve it, really. What way to distract that or take away from that? And that would be announcing a PlayStation game that is published by PlayStation, and owned, the IP owned by PlayStation, coming over to Xbox. I think that announcement did its job, because all of a sudden you started seeing Xbox gaming channels and Xbox gamers jumping for joy, as if it changed everything that Xbox has been doing for the past couple of years. And recently this year, like this year, they really had their foot on the pedal. So you start to see that going on with all these Xbox channels and Xbox gamers, and you can find it, and you still see them making it to this day. You look at their thumbnails, or they're making videos about other PlayStation channels, stating how these PlayStation channels and the content creators or the PlayStation gamers are coping, or they're losing their minds, and oh, they're so mad because Helldivers 2 and Xbox is third party, and all these things. Not Xbox, PlayStation is going third party, and a third party publisher, yada yada yada. And I see that as like, what? It's like what's going on? You have, and I'm not even gonna say one game. Excuse me. I'm not even gonna say one game you have coming over to Xbox, because the reality is we don't know what other games may or may not go over to Xbox from PlayStation. But I'm just speaking for now. You have one game being announced going to PlayStation. I mean Xbox. And they act as if it changes everything Xbox is doing. And that to me is insanity. I can never let what PlayStation do be, how can I put it? I can never let PlayStation do something on the same level as Microsoft has been doing and let an announcement say like Gears of War, Halo. All the things that PlayStation was doing was terrible to me as a gamer and hurting me as a gamer. And all of a sudden they announced Halo coming over to PlayStation. And that allows me to forget everything PlayStation has done because they announced one game and act as if everything is good. That is insanity to me. And that's what I feel like a lot of Xbox gamers, and I don't want to give them harsh treatment because a lot of them just gamers. But then you got to talk about the Xbox channels and the creators. What motive do you have to push this, what seems like an agenda? Because I can not fathom how you can take a game being announced as if it's the Lord and Savior of a company. That game will not change what Xbox and Microsoft is doing. That game will not change what they are continuing to do to not their company, but to the gamers, the Xbox gamers. So when I see stuff like that, I either think that these channels have an agenda and they want to keep pushing the wars, so-called console wars, because maybe they feel like they're running out of content, and this is just my opinion. Or they're ignorant, purposely ignorant to what's actually going on. So my question to anybody, Xbox gamers, PlayStation gamers, is Helldivers 2 going over to Xbox, saving Xbox? Will Helldivers 2 launch date or the arrival of Helldivers 2 going to Xbox, will it change the trajectory in which Xbox is going? That's a question I have for the Xbox community and anybody that's willing to answer that question, because from what I see, Helldivers 2 is not going to change the direction Xbox is going. Helldivers 2 would not, I want to say, put a shadow over what Xbox is doing by laying people off. And not just Xbox, Microsoft as a whole, but specifically Xbox. To me, it's crazy. So all we can do is watch and see how this plays out. But I want to say to all you Xbox fans out there, this is not a W. This is definitely not a W. Because if you weigh that against everything Microsoft has been doing with the Xbox brand, you will see that it's more harmful than it's helpful. So as for me, is Helldivers 2 going over to Xbox? Am I happy? No. Am I extremely mad? No. Because at the end of the day, I will still go on and live my life. I will still be able to play Helldivers. I will still be able to play other PlayStation games. No, it won't destroy me. If I feel like PlayStation ever gets to that point where it's no longer fun to game, then I would just stop gaming. It's not that deep for me as a PlayStation so-called fanboy. And I'm speaking for a majority of PlayStation players. This is generally how we feel. We will accept if PlayStation do something we don't like. We will accept it and we will move on. And by moving on, I mean we would find somewhere else to go to game, or we would just stop gaming anyway. We would go live our lives. And that's what would happen. So yeah, I've made this video longer than I wanted to, but this is something that was on my mind. I wanted to take time from making review videos of game trailers and give my opinion on things. I think I'm start doing that more. Like I said, I'm a PlayStation gamer, but I'm not biased. Believe what you want. But I think what I've been seeing going on in the gaming industry and gaming, I want to say channels or the ecosystem, has gotten ridiculous. All the back and forth, all the lies, all the misinformation, all the propaganda is getting out of control. It has to stop. I know you get your clicks and your views, and I understand that. You're making your money. I'm a small channel, and I'm doing this because I like gaming. Give me something to do. Maybe I'll make something off it, maybe I won't. But at the end of the day, this is just how I feel, is my opinion. It doesn't have to be fact. Although I believe a lot of what I'm saying is fact because you can see what's going on. It's still my opinion though. And you have the right to have yours just like I have the right to have mine. So yeah, that being said, that's the end of this video. Please like and subscribe. Leave in the comments what you think is going on, Xbox gamers or PlayStation gamers. But it's clear as day what's going on. This is not a W. Is it an L? If it ain't a W, what else could it be? A draw, a tie? Is definitely not a tie. So yeah, it's still an L, because the decision of Xbox or the moves they are making are harmful to you Xbox gamers, and maybe even trickle down to PlayStation gamers, because we don't know what other companies may follow. So yeah, I'm out and look forward to the next video. Until then, please like and subscribe.